Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and I've already got the drivers ready because we're going to see what's inside this Kubey KU202 whatever. I don't remember. It'll be in the title. You guys know how I feel about the friggin' numbered things. However, I absolutely do like this knife, and in my review, I complained about this, and this is bad. This is not good that this moves back and forth. However, I have heard from some others out there, and apparently I got a fluke, and this is solid on their knives. Now, I don't have anything to verify that except for the words of many viewers, or not many, a few viewers. So you can believe them, and I believe them. So, guys, really like the knife, but we need to know what's in here, don't we? Well, we got drivers ready with T8 straight out of the Todd Knife and Tool bit driver holder, and we're gonna see what we got to do. And I'm going to tell you right now that this is going to be an adventure because they're using a lot of ferrules. And what a ferrule is, in fact, that's not even a ferrule. That is a female. Oh, I don't even know exactly to call it. It is a ferrule, but it's got a thing on the end of it, which is actually okay. I'm not going to fuss about that. Is that a screw? No, it is a screw. It's just down in there tight. That's okay. I'm not going to complain about that. Being that tight on one side is actually good. That means that I can get it undone and get it all out of there. Okay, so have we got the same affair going on here? Yes. Keep everything in the same spot there. And we need to get this open before we end up cutting ourselves. Yeah, I just said that before I opened a knife blade, guys. And that is a free spinner, but it's got a T8 over here. I was just able to hold it with my hand. Okay, there's our backspacer. There's our pivot screw. And there's our, ooh, that's pretty. That is pretty. Let's see what we get in here. Get my driver out of the way, and we'll lift this and put it down there with the pivot goodies. Put that up there where the blade's supposed to go. Pivot goodies. Come on. Come out of there, pivot goodies. And you know why I made this little tray? The big reason I made this little tray doesn't have anything to do with looking cool on the internet or keeping myself the whole knife organized. Every bit of it has to do, and wow, sorry about that. Woo! I just grabbed the magnet off the stand for that so I could get that out, and wow. We'll put that magnet up there, a little different place. Anyhow, the whole deal with this tray is to keep me from losing stop pins. That's it. You don't know how many times I've made a stop pin because I freaking lost it. And then you have to guess, or hopefully somebody will tell you what size the stop pin was, and it's ugly and awful, and then you have to go make it, and not fun. Anyhow, this is what we've got. We've got a bog standard lock bar insert, semi-hardened, there it is, hardened steel, annealed back pretty good, I'd say. You've got the fact that I have carried the crap out of this knife. It is not internally milled. I'm not going to fuss about that because of the amount of milling they did on the outside. We've talked about that a couple times before. Sometimes you can mill so far on the outside, you can't mill on the inside. Or you put inlay on the outside, then you can't mill on the inside. Milling on the inside of the knife is not the end all, folks. I know there's going to be people out there that are going to fuss about it, whether they even if they understand it. But nobody was milling out the inside of one of these, and it weighs like 5.5 ounces or something, but 6 ounces, I don't know, they're freaking heavy. But there are things that keep you from being able to mill on the inside sometimes, and need to be aware of that instead of just fussing it and mill on the inside. Pretty good there. This right here is beautiful. that is milled out of the carbon fiber, and then you've got a stainless, hardened stainless piece going down in there to hold your stop pin and to hold your pivot all together. And that, wow, that, guys, is just absolutely beautiful from Kubey. You know, I've said it before, but the deeper we get into their knives, the more impressed I get. I can tell them some places where they could make things more interesting. People have complained about this. I'm not going to complain about it. I think you should take that and instead of leaving it satin, I would have buffed it up just a little bit, but I don't think it's bad. Now we're on the way to put this thing back together and clean it up as we go. There is no backing washer on this side because this is already stainless. And stainless, probably not as hard as a backing washer, but plenty hard enough. Put a little goop in there. Put our bog standard bearings in there. And yeah, I've been watching too many English guys' videos because I'm using words that I shouldn't be using, aren't I? But, you know, that's okay. So there we go. That's how we want that in there. It's not quite as good, not quite as deep. And let me show you why. I'm going to drop that down. We want to wipe that blade down. And that's why I made this thing. We got a place for the blade, place for the handles, and two places for, one place for pivot and one place for other screws and parts. I see a revision coming whenever I have the larger print bed, because I need another spot for another handle. Like on this one, we got two different materials. So there we go. And we do have a bit of a counterbore here on either side of the blade for that bearing to lay down into. That's pretty freaking nice. Then we're going to grab these things, grab our stop pin, and drop our stop pin down in there. And that's a nice stop pin. Same thing here. We're going to put that with the open side up, put a little juice in it, and drop this over the back. And get our hands cleaned up again, get the 85 weight out. And I just talked about this the other day. Why do I use 85 weight in the hole? Well, the reason I use 85 weight, and we're going to go through the simple version this time. 85 weight's thicker oil. It stays in the hole better. It stays on the flat of the knife better. And if you use a lightweight oil, all it's going to do is drain down in your pocket. So you guys can argue with me all you want, but I'm not going to argue with you. That's why I do it. And if you think you have a better way, then put it in the comments. All right, so we're going to put these, see if we can put these up through here. I don't remember which side they came out of, but they're just ferrules, so it shouldn't matter. So I'll put that one there, that one there. And there we go. All right, well, stay in there. Doesn't want to stay in there. So we'll do it this way. All right, this is a bit of hand acrobatics here, but I think we'll make it. Take the pressure off the lock bar to get the pivot back in the hole. And on this one, we're going to have to kind of hold the pivot together and get this started and get that. That was good, wasn't it? Yeah, sometimes I think I should use one of those cute little vices that people keep telling me I should get because they're afraid I'm going to cut my hands off. Well, been doing this a long time. I haven't cut my hands off yet. But whenever I get to one like this where I've got 100 different things going on, which it's not a hard disassembly, and I'm probably making it harder than it needs to be, but all right, so we're at least kind of together there, and get one in here. and get that pivot screw back in its hole. And I actually like what they did with the pivot there. It reminds me of wheels from the 80s from cars. Remember all those Camaros running around with saw blades? Well, if you don't, just look through some 80s movies. They were everywhere. And something didn't go together right. Oh, I see. We have an escape part. We had a washer escape on us as we were putting things together. And that is really not a good thing, because the end of this knife is going to be a pain. So let's figure out where well, we know where our washer went because there was only one in there, right? So dropped out of there while we were putting it together. We're not going to worry about getting that ferrule in there right now. We're going to try to get our pivot together with everything in it like it's supposed to be. And come on. There we go. I think that should get us. All right. So we'll go the other way. We're going to go pivot first. My fault, guys. There we go. Got that ferrule in there. Go ahead and stick a screw in there. I'm not going to get this one really tight, just snug, because I don't know what's going to happen with this end one. I assume it's going to be a pain in my butt, because that just only makes sense, and it wasn't. But we have discovered why we have a problem with, part of the reason we have a problem with movement. See that? Hooked up a little bit. Now, is that the fault of the ferrule? Did we get the wrong ferrule in there? So many questions. I think we just got the wrong ferrule in there. So see, that was on me again. I am just failing you guys left and right. And see, that ferrule is going to be hard to get out. We'll get the little skinny T6. There we go. And now we'll try this again. So see, you learn something there. Don't try to be the big friggin' smart knife designer, knife maker, and just know exactly what you're doing, because it will kick you in the butt. And I'm not fancy anyhow. But yeah, because that one comes down flush. Very good. So you've got two different sizes here for ferrule lengths. And I'm calling ferrules those little threaded tubes in there. I'm sure you guys all have fancier names for them than that. And that's fine. Be fancy. I don't have to be. There it goes again. That guy don't like me. All right. But we're almost there, and it really wasn't that painful if your presenter had known what he was doing. But of course he doesn't, because I don't pre-disassemble these knives most of the time. And occasionally I may have had one apart in a prior life or something. But most of the time, what you see is what you get on these disassemblies. Now I've got a dog who wants to go outside, and he's about to freak out on me. So let's see, what do we got? We disassembled it, had a hard time, but we got it there, and we are square as you can be. And look at that. Still, only issue I have is this moving. Like I said, many viewers have told me that theirs works fine. Man. Still, this knife just touches me in some weird way. I like it. You guys have a great day. This was what's inside the Kubey KU. They should have gave it a name. And I will see you next time.